Anybody who comes to you and says, God wants you to be rich is after your money. To start this presentation, let me just bring something here. What is this? It's a hammer, right? And what is this? $5 bills. What's the difference between this hammer and these two $5 bills when it comes to what they are made of? Yeah, this one is made of two things. The bottom part is actually made of rubber, and the top part is actually made of iron. So you can see that, yes, this is something completely different. And this is made of paper. That's the difference. So here's another question. What do these two things have in common? Someone may say nothing. I will argue that what they have in common is both are simply tools. This is a tool to build a house, and this is a tool that you use to have transactions in the marketplace. It's simply a tool. So, to go on to say that God wants you to have more tools in order for His mind to be activated, in order for His mind to be awakened within you, you can tell right away that this is a lie. Because why would God want you or need for you to have more tools in order for His mind to be activated, or for His mind to finally come alive within you? Because if He wants you to have more of this, He might as well ask you to have more of this, because on a certain level, they are nothing but tools. And Him being a big and mighty God, He can possibly go after tools in order for Him to be manifested or to be awakened in one's life. So anybody saying that to you, they are con men and con women that you should stay away from. And I really mean it, especially when it comes to people saying to you that you need to have more money in order for you to activate God's mind. You need to become rich in order to activate God's mind, especially when you use the word God and you put the word rich on the same sentence. I will simply tell you, this is part of this crazy thing that caused a lot of damage in the church within the past few years. Thank God this thing is already over. It used to be called the prosperity gospel, that people will go around and say, yes, God wants you to be rich, and that's the only way you're going to make certain things happen. And in saying that, 90% of the time, the one that were getting richer after this kind of sermon was those who were speaking, was the speaker, not the people in the congregation. No. So this has been already proven as far as church is concerned, that yes, you cannot use the word or the name of God in one sentence and put money and say that God wants you to be rich in order for Him to activate His mind within you. That's a fallacy that I needed to debunk right away. So if God doesn't need you to be rich in order to activate His mind within your body, if God doesn't need you to be rich in order to activate His mind within you, then what will cause God's mind to finally come alive and give you the level of clarity that you need as far as your life is concerned, and cause a sort of revival or transformation as far as one's community is concerned? I will give you the perfect example, because some gurus now are using the word God and putting the name and putting money in the presentation, I'm going to speak to that with some scriptures. In the second book of Kings, I believe Second Kings chapter 6, there's a story of a prophet by the name of Elisha who was spending some time with some sons of prophet. And as he was spending some time, the son of prophet says, we are going to go somewhere. Would you like to come with us? Elisha says, sure, why not? I'm going to come with you. And as they go, one of the young men goes and borrow a tool. And they go in order to do some work that they're going to need for the camp. And he borrows an axe, not this one. So as he's doing his work, at one point the head of the tool fell into the water. The head of the tool was actually made of iron. It goes into the water. And he goes to Elisha, the master prophet, and he says, Master, I think something crazy happened. I lost the head of my tool and it was actually borrowed. So it's not mine. So I need some help. And Elisha comes and says, please show me where I fell. He showed him where he fell. And he said, please, someone bring me a piece of wood. He took a piece of wood and dropped in the water. And the piece of wood caused now the piece of iron to come to the surface and float again. He took a piece of wood, dropped it in the water, it went into the water, and the piece of wood caused the iron to float above waters, and they were able now to retrieve that piece of iron and bring it back safely to the owner. Here's what it is. God is looking for a piece of wood. Let me sound less theological and just get down to a practical level. He's looking for someone who can demonstrate the four key things. PTSB. Let me pray. So he's looking for someone with a purpose. Someone who can transcend their own needs, their own ego, and their own selfish ambition for something bigger. So in other words, is looking for someone who can say, I'm going to be carrying a cross. I'll be focusing on my purpose, which is nothing to do with me, but to serve my community. I'm going to be looking for something that can transcend my own personal selfish ambition. I'm going to look for something bigger than myself. And when you do that, what happens is you become like a piece of wood that one can actually go into the water and cause whatever was actually to come to the surface again, and cause your community to come to the surface and float again, and cause the mind of God to be activated in you, within you, to simply have the clarity when it comes up to the type of solution that your community is looking for as far as what they are facing is concerned. Two examples, and I'm going to stop right there. In 1963, between 1963 and 1964, a young man was actually on trial in South Africa. Eventually, he was found guilty for what was actually put against him. And for the next 27 years, he was said to remain in prison. But the longer he stayed in prison, the more funky things became evident. It became evident to the government that put him in jail, and the community that lost him, the family that lost him, that yes, this man indeed was a man of purpose, number one. It became evident as well that his purpose had transcended his own personal and selfish ambition. His purpose had transcended the needs of his own personal family. That's number two. It became evident that this man was being led or driven by something bigger than himself. So PTSD. And the longer he was staying in jail, the more it was becoming like old wine that basically simply became irresistible. To the point where the government realized that yes, if we keep this man in jail, it's not good for us. And the community simply said, yeah, the longer you keep him in jail, the more it's going to become bigger than reality. At one point, the government simply says the only way to counter this man is to bring him out. As they brought him out, shortly after that they went into election. This man, who had spent 27 years in jail, simply rose to the top and became now the wood that will cause the iron to float to the surface again and cause this nation of South Africa to simply be resurrected and taken out to the next level. That's example number one. Example number two, I shared it yesterday. This young man born on December 21st, 1949 in Africa. Again, shortly after that, this young man started demonstrating leadership qualities, and they wanted to go into the army. He goes into the army, and shortly after that, he becomes also an officer. As an army officer, everyone can start paying attention to him because this man had tremendous amount of leadership oozing out of him, to the point where even the president became aware of him, and he brought him along to work with him as the prime minister. Shortly after that, the prime minister and the president are clashing when it comes to the vision, and the president decided to actually put him in jail. And when he was in jail, his co-workers as army officers simply said, no, we believe more in the vision of our former prime minister than of this current president, so we're going to go to the prison and we're going to free him, and we're going to depose this particular president, and we're going to give the power to this deposed or former prime minister. So he comes on, as if he comes on, the first order of business he has is simply the following. He simply says, I am not here looking for money. I'm not here looking for tools to make this country greater, but I'm here to simply show you that I was born with a purpose, and I'm going to put every inch or every ounce of my purpose to work as far as this country is concerned. And the first order of business is to rebrand this country. We're going to rebrand this country. It will no longer be called unworthy, but it will now be called Burkina Faso, meaning the country of incorruptible souls, or the country of incorruptible men. That was in 1984. But guess what? 1987, he passed away. And 1988 was born in the same country another young man who, over 30 years later, will take over the country and will pick up exactly where this other man had left, which is basically to bring the country to a greater place of prominence, because he said to himself, the purpose or the vision was too big and too good for us as a nation to completely ignore it. So I had to go back to that particular place. But how did this start? It simply started in 1983, 1984, when someone came up with these four qualities. PTSD. So basically, he had a purpose, he had a transcendence, he had something bigger than himself. And when he put the four of them in action, guess what? The mind of God was activated, and the mind of God gave him the clarity he so needed to take his nation, to take his community, to take his continent from one level to the next level. And with this, I'm going to stop. So again, why am I saying that anyone who comes to you and say that yes, you need more of this in order to activate or awaken the minds of God as far as your life is concerned, is a call, man? Because at the end of the day, God does not need tools to make anything happen. But what he needs is crosses, not made of money, not made of paper, but crosses made of wood that can burn. And as they're burning, they're going to become a magnet for more tools. They're going to become a magnet for money to come. And as money is coming, the money is going to come to serve a particular vision. So it is not the other way around. Money doesn't give you a vision. As a matter of fact, money without a vision is a very dangerous tool. As a matter of fact, it's a master that's going to cause you to become misguided. But when you have a vision, The vision is going to cause you now to have like a cross, and the cross is going now to start drawing the necessary tools. It's going to cause you to draw money, to draw the tools, to draw the nest, to draw the armor, and to draw everyone that's going to come around and help you take your community from one level to the next level. And with this, my friend, I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. If you watch this video until the very end, the only one key thing I'm going to kindly ask you to is to do something bold in your comment. Simply write in the comment cross, and I will know that you had watched this video until the very end. Much love, everyone. I'm out. The best is yet to come. Take care.